this. Yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga. Nick. Yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga.
Let's see what is up, CFO gang. It's your boy Jay Tuck. Real Cowboys fan stand up. And you know what? I was going to kind of vibe tonight. I was going to sit back, turn on my Disney Plus, watch Daredevil, which is one of my favorite shows. But there's been so much going on amongst the Cowboys and Cowboys Nation. I said, you know what? If I get one like, I'm going live. I said, if I get one like on Twitter, I was going live. And I got that one like just like that because y'all notice how it goes, right? But I just didn't get that like. I just did not get that like. My brother from another mother hit me up and said, send me the link. He said, send me the link, bro. So I had to send my bro the link. So y'all know he don't need no introduction. But my guy, BJ Nix, what's going on with you, dog?
Oh man, we're parlaying the the maybe different, maybe not different, maybe facade, maybe different optics. We don't know what's real, what's not. Off season thus far, or prior to free agent talent acquisition season.
Right.
Uh
It's
yeah, a
kind
lot
of
to dig into
different, but
there.
kind of the same. A little,
Yeah,
we're
yeah, yeah.
teetering the line right now. And yesterday, we'll talk about it here in a second.
Mhm,
Jerry was in silence, wasn't a lot of talking going on, just, movement going on. And we were
mhm,
restructurings and we signed Osa. So Cowboys fans was feeling good. But then
mhm,
Jerry put on his suit today at the Zack Martin retirement party and said,
mhm.
we gonna fill some of these holes in the draft. You're not doing free
Wet
agency, and just
blanket.
yeah, Jerry started talking again, and then I'm saying the somberness come over, Cowboys fans. But before we start, man, Nick, how you been, bro? I'm saying it's been a long, treacherous season. Here we go in the off season. Here we go again. With the off
Yeah, shout out to
season.
DMX. Oh, shout out to DMX. Yeah, man. Intriguing times that we're in, right? Um, Not happy how the head coaching hire process went, but backside, like we're like, oh, well, I mean, how they operated with filling everything else around the head coach, very different. Not the typical hiring your best friends. Shout out to Will McClay with that interview,
Right,
sluggo that he shot.
right.
Um, so yeah, anytime there's a change within the building, it's different,
Hmm.
obviously. And now what's optics, what's real, what's tangible. So
Hmm.
what is tangible here and what's happening is really the deciphering that we have to do. And
Hmm.
and there are things that I think that we can land on, say, oh, that's different. But I think there's other things here is like, okay, maybe ahead of schedule, but this is not really that different. So
Right.
I understand I think the best way to put it, Tuck, is people are torn at the moment in the nation of it feels different, but I think there's also the side of it's not different. And I
Mhm.
think it's up to the right kind of people, the right kind of voices to decipher, if you will, what's tangible in a difference lane or in what's not tangible in that lane. So it's a very intriguing time right now.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think that's the hardest part because as bad as since the Green Bay loss and even last year's been, Cowboys are wanting a glimpse of optimism. So when you have a new coaching staff, they're saying all the right words, right? We're hearing, tough and finish strong and run the ball and all these certain
Violent.
things, violent, we're getting
Yeah.
college coaches. And so it's easy to start to get hooked back in. But sometimes you got to, hey, pump the brake. That's why my motto has been, it's not that I don't believe in the team. I don't believe in the coaching staff. I'm waiting to week 6. Show me state. You know what I'm saying? Show me that there's going to be some changes. Now, when you go back to
Right.
what happened yesterday with the Osa situation, let's be honest. Yes, it was nice that they got the Osa deal done, but they honestly didn't have a choice. They didn't have a choice. Hold on, am I getting an echo? Are y'all hearing the echo? Are we good?
No, I have no
Okay.
echo.
All right, cool. Yeah. So we were saying they honestly didn't have a choice because he would have franchise tag Osa at what 25 mil, and then you have to deal with Micah. Like it's a lot of different. So I feel like they had to get the Osa deal done early. So yeah, hooray that you got it done. It was a good deal. It was a good team friendly deal for signing Osa as well. So we know how team friendly deals happen. It goes a little bit quicker than when you're trying to get top paid, but it's like, all right, y'all, but there's still work to do. That's the bare basics. Restructuring City's contract, restructuring today Dak Prescott's contract, re-signing your players. Okay, congratulations, you're in the game, right? But there's still going to be work that needs to be done with acquiring outside talent when it comes to Dallas Cowboys. I know you already had your
Sure.
slogan on social media, just about the
Yeah.
game names, and I
Yeah.
agree, right? But
Yeah. More game than name.
And then show me a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you have to show me a little bit more. So that's where I'm currently at when it comes to the Cowboys.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, Tuck, here's the thing, right? And I want to go a little bit deeper into the Osa signing for a second. In that if we go through the litany history, look, God bless America. Okay, I understand it's we're about we're on the antithesis of the 30-year anniversary since the Cowboys have been to a conference championship game and all that. Okay, we understand all that. Let me make sure we put that aside for a second. I'm just going to go into the recent history because I think we have to move the needle somewhat. There's a space in a place, if you will, to have a conversation about the last 29 to 30 years. But right now, right here where we are, and I'm going to use an OSA in this spectrum, right? In that the narrative has been we don't pay our guys early, which is still factual
Mhm.
because you should have paid OSA last year. Pause.
Right. Right.
But when it's time to pay them, because we waited, we overpay. We've heard that time and time again. Oh my
Mhm.
God, you overpaid, you overpaid, you overpaid. And we have our different conversations whether it's Lehman, what he got, or a Dak, or a D-Law, or
Mhm.
insert whatever player you want to insert. There is a change in narrative in the fact that you did wait late, but they also said we can't close deals anymore, front office wise. The
Mhm.
Cowboys can't close deals anymore. And shout to Nick Harris, forward Star Telegram. On Friday, his numbers, go dial up the tweet. Go dial up the tweet. He said, oh, numbers were 4 years, north of 90 million,
Mhm.
around 22 and a half, I think it was, the APY. Sounds like the deal's done, right?
Mhm.
Um, Fast forward to Monday,
Mhm.
and then there's a report of franchise tag.
Right. Here we go.
Franchise. Oh God, and which is valid. The Cowboys are the only team that did 5 out of 6 years of franchise tags. We were number one,
Mhm.
right? So that makes sense, and everybody grasps, oh my God, we're going to our franchise tag, and then Tuesday, boom, it drops.
Mhm.
Not only is the deal done, and I think, and this is a slight against Nick. I think Nick Harris does phenomenal work.
Yeah,
Be
speaking of my guy
clear,
Nick.
yeah, phenomenal work. The numbers are less than what Nick Harris said.
Mhm.
And what we know to be true is, well, when the tag's there, if they get on the tag, Tuck, we've done this long enough. If somebody signs the tag, where's the number at then on a contract when they sign
Right.
the tag?
That's the baseline.
That's the baseline. And the baseline for the tag was 25.5, I think, or
Right.
25.2.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what you got him at.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two is you actually closed a deal. We ain't seen that in a while, y'all. We ain't seen that around here in a while.
Yeah.
Okay. So 80 million, the numbers get ran underneath the tag and the whole nine. And you should celebrate that. You should
Mhm.
be excited. Look, and he ends up being the 14th highest paid D tackle.
Tackle.
That's a great deal.
Right.
That's a great deal. Now,
Mhm.
the one thing I want to say though, let's get some particulars out. I mean, because he did go on a show this morning, Tuck. I don't know if you
Mhm.
also went on a show or not. You
Yeah.
went on a show. You heard about
Oh
that
yeah.
show he
Oh
went
yeah.
on?
Yeah. I know that show you went on.
Yeah,
I
you know
need
that
to be on
show?
that show. You know,
Yeah,
I need to be on that show.
yeah, you went on that show.
It's okay.
And the one thing he said was, who was on the phone with him the entire time?
Micah Parsons. Yeah.
Mm,
So
mm.
the Joneses close the
So
deal?
or was there a driving factor with the Joneses that closed the deal, right? And
Mhm.
that's a space. We don't know, but it's out there. There's a space to have a conversation about that. And for the first time, as I try to lay out the lay of the land in a long time, they closed the deal prior to a tag, under the tag, under the numbers that was reported. Okay, in 14th. That's really that's a great deal that they did and he did. Now, I'm not going to put my head over the skis here, if you will. I never snow ski before, so but I'm
Yeah,
never.
I think it's
But
past me.
yeah, but I'm definitely not going to. But I'm definitely not going to do that. But what I heard on the backside of that was Micah was in the building doing things. And can I walk the dog for a second? Is that okay, Mike? Is that okay, Tuck? Can I walk
Go
the
ahead. Go
dog for
ahead.
a second?
Go ahead. Do it.
Because what I saw from Cowboys Nation
Mm.
was we got to get Micah out of here. We
Trade
got to
him.
get the picks. We got to do this. He's not a leader. Podcast Parsons, the whole nine.
Mm.
But what he told you was on her prior, or excuse me, post Green Bay loss. Prior to the season, I want to be a better leader. I want to do certain things. I want to operate differently.
Mhm.
And then we fast forward through the year. I think we saw him operate differently. And then I think what we saw was in the Osa deal, because remember, but prior to their negotiations, Micah did have a post on Instagram. Do y'all remember? Y'all
Mhm.
remember that Twitter? That
Yeah.
was the him and Osa with a little music in the background, the whole night. And
Mhm.
everybody's like, oh shit, Osa's gone. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. And then remember
Fast
also
forward.
they had an event too, right? Because he had an event, or have they
Hmm.
had it yet with Osa, Miles
Hmm.
Garrett, and Vaughn?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. And then you get the deal done at a reasonable spot that makes sense. We will check mark the front office, and for good reason, because they
Right.
were to get the deal across the finish line, and what
Mhm.
we've been asking for years on end. But then on the back end of that, as we did the pop the champagne, shout out to old Coach Shoddy. He signed it.
Mhm.
He sent him a bottle of bubbly, as he talks
There you
about
go.
as well. But he also said him and Mike was in conversation the whole time, and I think that's not a small matter. I think we should highlight that. Tuck is what I'm
Right.
saying. At
Right.
the end of the day, I'm being long winded here a little bit, but a guy that was in a contract extension situation, and if he takes the tag, would have been more money than he would have got, right? And they had the conversation that happened, and he's waiting. And be clear, Micah's waiting for his deal still,
Mhm.
and where it's at. It just smells like leadership to me
Yeah.
in doing the right thing.
Yeah, and that's why I posted my tweet. I feel like what we're getting right now is new leadership in Dallas, and a lot of people didn't understand that. But salute to my guy Bugs in the building, right? What also happened yesterday? CeeDee Lamb,
Oh,
I didn't know CeeDee Lamb had a Twitter account. You know, he just pops in it. But CeeDee Lamb even commented after his restructure and says, I want to win. So what you're seeing is
Mhm.
these players, these younger players are like, listen, bro, okay, I get it, but we need some more help in here. And it's okay to say that. And that's been the message I've been trying to preach. I know some people were saying, oh, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say that. It's disrespectful for your teammates. I'm like, no, it's absolutely not. When you're sitting back and you're sitting there watching TV with your family and you get that breaking news that the Eagles just got Saquon, we all sit up in our chair and say, God damn. We all do that. So the Cowboys
Right.
players are thinking, okay, how do we make these moves? Yes, I believe in the guy next to me, but it would be damn nice to have that too alongside. So, when CD says I can't win it by myself, that's what we're all trying to preach. Now, a lot of people got on me for saying it, but I need one more person, Knicks. I need just one more to say, hey, but he probably won't. But I understand because it's clear as the evidence, right? It's clear as day that you need some extra guys out there because you
Yeah.
can't do it all on your own.
Well, it'd be clear,
Oh
right?
my God, Bugs, he made on ESPN. You
Yeah.
famous, bro. You famous.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and be clear. Like Lamb didn't take a pay cut.
Right.
He got a restructure. And that frees up money for them to do things. And the pressure from him in that standpoint is, yeah, there's money freed up because I need more people. And
Mhm.
shout out to NFL. Look, shout out to the NFL actual Twitter account and posted about, oh my God, Lamb, oh, look what he did. I'm like, yeah, but he's not losing money,
Right.
but he needs more people. Like that's the message it should be.
Right.
You know what happened today though, Tug? Guess what happened? The same thing that Lamb, quote unquote, had happened to him yesterday without the tweet. It's the same thing that happened to Dak today.
Yeah.
Now imagine if Dak would have said, I need more help, or
Oh.
I'm trying to help the team, or whatever. But it doesn't really matter in the
Right.
grand scheme of things because we're in the business side of the NFL.
Right.
And we understand that the majority of fans of the NFL, not even Cowboys fans, just the majority of NFL fans, don't understand how the business side of the NFL works. So CeeDee Lamb didn't take a pay cut, okay, but he expressed that he needs more help. And that wasn't throwing the Mingos or the
Right.
Tolberts or anybody the bus. We need more help in the room.
Right.
And now we fast forward one day later, and Dak does the. I say they do the same thing. They don't do anything. They just sit there, they flip a switch, and they get a check. Like
Right.
like the front office
Right. It's
flips the
not like
switch.
the players
Yeah,
bust in the door and say, "Hey, restructuring right now," because
right,
no,
right,
it's
right.
just
Like, that's not what happens here. They didn't take a pay cut per se, but
right.
it helps the salary cap, and you can add more people, which I know we'll get into a little bit later as I
Mhm.
see it on the bottom here. But I'm willing to bet because how we always talk about the big letter networks, and I mean now we got to spread that to the NFL Shield. Now that it talks
Mhm.
about Lamb yesterday, I ain't seen the NFL account post about
Sick
Dak
or back. No,
today.
absolutely not. Absolutely
Yeah.
not. And
Lamb, cool, but yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, make a story. Oh, what's the meme? Bold, empowering. And it's like,
Mm.
put a shirt on. Like Dak does the same thing.
Thanks.
Well, which is funny because there was people comment. I think it was with No C Walker yesterday. It was like Dak is
Mm,
selfish. That's why he's not really straight. Like, hey, bro, he's done it numerous times. Like, I mean, pretty much
right.
every big deal that comes through in Dallas, they get restructured. I can't even think of a big deal that was done in Dallas that they
Bro,
didn't restructure.
Romo, Witten, Dez, D Ware. I mean, we can just go down the list from long term to now.
Right.
Brother, yeah, I'm right there with you, bro.
And that and that
If
is
you're a big
why
name,
the Dallas Cowboys ideally like to have these long lengthy contracts if they can get them to 6 years, 7 years, so you can spread the money out. So think of it as like, listen, man, Nick says, you know what, Tuck, you owe me $200,000. And I say, listen, bro, I ain't got it right now, but give me 10 years and we can
I
kind of
got
spread
you.
that out. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about
Shout out
20
to Bobby
the
Bonilla.
next 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I guess you could say Trayvon Diggs. So they haven't restructured Diggs. That's a whole nother conversation that we can definitely lean into.
Sure.
Obviously,
Injuries,
probably
right,
Trayvon is one of those, but typically they like to. They haven't done it yet, right? But typically they
right.
like to restructure, those deals to
Look,
spread the money out.
and be clear. It's like if he didn't have the injury last year, guess who got flipped this
Yeah,
year?
yeah. Everybody easily flipped
Thanks.
it. Everybody
Yeah, it'd been an
easily,
easy flip for sure.
yeah, exactly. So here we got the restructures. What is next, Nix? What do you think? Is it Micah? Is it an outside free agency help? We're gearing up for March. The free agency starts what, 12th? Is it? First day is 12th?
Yeah. So next Wednesday would be the actual time. Monday is the, what they call on
Okay.
the 10th. Monday would be the legal tampering time, if you will.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah.
legal.
So what do you think it's for? Do you think all this movement is for Micah, or do you think it's for outside acquisitions, or is it for more in-house acquisitions? Like, J. Lou hasn't officially signed. I'm
Right.
not sure. Me personally, I don't think that D-Law returns. I think D-Law
Mhm.
is probably on the out. But you also have to consider Tyler Smith kind of coming up the pipe. You also got,
Sure.
Deron Bland coming up as well. So where do you think this money is going to be allocated?
Yeah, so let's be clear. Let me start with Micah first and foremost, right? Let's be honest about the situation here.
That's the
This,
mortgage.
this
That's the mortgage.
yeah,
Yeah.
while it's the mortgage, but look, the Dak liver has zero to do with Micah's money.
Mhm.
Okay, here's the problem with that for me, and for those that are on the Twitter, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, the spaces over there. What I was worried about was I was like, if they flip the Dak lever before Micah, I'm worried this Micah contract is going to take longer. Obviously, because here's the reason why: Micah signing when they extend him is going to be a 15 to 18 million. Let me do 14. It's a 14 to 17. Let me draw the number down. Crosby got signed today, but either way,
Mhm.
it's going to free up 14 to 17, maybe $18 million on the cap. So Micah getting signed, they don't need money to sign. Like they didn't really have to do Lamb at the end of the day
Mhm.
to sign Micah. So the Micah contract has nothing to do with Lamb getting the lever getting flipped on Lamb or the lever getting flipped on Dak at the end of the day. It's going to create another 15. I like easy numbers, easy math. So I'm going 15 million there. So right now I think 17 plus 36, that's what, 53, 50, 54 maybe with the change on the back end. They're
Right.
sitting at 54 right now. So you get an extra 15 on top of the Micah deal. So nothing of this has to do with Micah. Now let's pivot to the next part of that conversation. Who do they have to sign on this roster, Tuck? We think Jordan Lewis, right?
Mhm.
I am. I'm a big Jordan Lewis
Right.
bringing back, and I think you should
Yeah.
bring it back not on a 1 year deal, but a 3 year deal.
Yeah,
Personally,
he's earned it. Yeah, there's no. If
he's
I'm
earned it.
Jordan Lewis, like I said, I'm not going to tell him what to do with his money, but a 1 year deal, he's way past that. Like he should be
Yeah, no.
three at minimum.
He's at a point in his career. I need to land, and I need a 3 year deal to
Mhm.
get up out of here.
Yeah.
Not saying he won't play after that, but ultimately, 3 year deal.
Mhm.
But even with that, a 3 year deal for Jordan Lewis, even at 10 million with 7 million guaranteed,
Right.
you're not
Easy
you're
work.
not losing. Yeah, it's easy work. Um, let's go down the list though. Let's go Lawson. What is Lawson costing you
Less
if you
than
want to bring it
5,
back?
wasn't he?
Yeah, less than 5. Okay. What was the Chauncey Golston costing you?
Yeah, probably around same as Lawson, around 5, 6.
Got you. Look, I'm painting the picture. Walk with me though. It's like I'm
Yeah.
painting the picture. All right.
So
I'm
it's
gonna
10.
put
That's
look,
21.
I'm gonna put D Law to the side for a second. Okay. Because balls on our court, right? Whatever.
Mhm.
What's the Nick Vigil costing you?
Who's that?
Vigil, linebacker, Nick Vigil. What's it
Mm,
costing you?
probably less than 5.
Yeah, vet minimum, right?
Yeah.
Um, Kendricks, we'll say a linebacker. What's Kendricks costing you? 3, 2,
Yeah.
3,
Yeah, 2, 3. If he
2,
even wants to
3.
come back, since you guys kind of outed
Right,
his guy in Zim.
right. You got Sieg on deck. Special teams matter. Sieg,
Right.
long snapper. 1.5.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Anger, punter, 2. Pro
Yep.
bowler, whatever, longer. Okay.
Tinder Turpin.
Um,
We Tinder Turpin. So
yeah. You already tendered Sarpin. You already. We're waiting to interesting, real quick. Interesting. Ain't seen the bell tender yet, but we'll pause on that.
yeah.
What am I missing? So
Resign
we
one.
did
Yes,
three.
we good there.
Yeah, Wanye is good. Yeah, we're good on that front. We did 3D tackles. We did 2 linebackers. Oh, McQuamu.
Right. If
Yeah,
you
I
bring him
mean,
back, yeah. Four,
right.
three,
Okay.
3, 4.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, right. I mean, you didn't have to flip the Dak contract if you wanted to bring everybody back.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point. Like, as I think everybody, because Osa's done.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The Micah deal frees up more money. There's no big guy here that eats up your cap. Like what you had in the cap already,
Mm-hmm.
you could have re-signed everybody in building in-house and not worried about
Mm-hmm.
outside. Or Jerry Jones said, we're not going to free agency to fill voids. I mean, playing up all in last year, nothing. Now we're not filling voids. Okay,
Right.
we'll see. That
Right.
we'll see. But again, Tuck, I mean, they didn't have to flip Deck's contract to handle in-house business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that's interesting to me.
Yeah, yeah, and honestly, I feel like it's just Jerry talking because they're going to have to get some outside guys to fill the voice, like you mentioned. One, like DMV just stated, these ain't Eberflus's guys. You know what I'm saying? These ain't his
Sure.
ingredients. So these are Dan Quinn / Zimmer's, whoever's ingredients, right? So you're gonna want Matt to get his guys in house, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And there's probably going to be outside guys that you need to acquire, but even if you're getting outside guys around the Kendricks type range, it shouldn't be too costly. I saw someone mention like Jonathan Allen, like, okay, cool, but it shouldn't break the bank for Jonathan Allen. So, like you said, clearing up this cap space, whether it's for Dak, and then also if you were to sign Micah, I think you get like 16, 17 million for off the extension. Right. Who is it for? Who is the money for? The only person I could think just rationally would be Tyler Smith. But because even with DaRon Bland, if it's me personally, when it comes to DaRon Bland, I like DaRon Bland, but I'm kind of holding off because I want to see who is he at post injury, right? So I don't see making DaRon Bland one of the highest paid corners.
Yeah, different scheme too.
Yeah, especially different scheme, different philosophy, different coaches. So I want to kind of see how that all shakes out. But the only person I could see in-house that this money could be for would be Tyler Smith, when that might not even be the case. So, it could lean towards outside acquisitions, or they could just tuck in their back pocket and just say we're going to use it for next year.
I mean, you can roll about 20 to 25 million every year, right? Obviously. If I'm not mistaken, I did a little work on that. I haven't done a lot of work. I think if they extend Tyler, I don't think it costs them but like $1 million this year, or it's somewhere between like they save $1 million or they gain $1 million. I can't remember which one.
This is year 4 for Tyler, right? 2020.
Year 3. No, he's after year. He's year 3. He's done. So
I
mean, year 3. Right. So it would be a very big change for the Cowboys.
Right.
And let's paint the picture, right? The reason first round draft picks, that is, they wait till year 4 is the Cowboys ultimately always want a 5-year deal, right? But if you wait till year 4 and get a 4-year deal, that's basically a 5-year deal because you got the year of the 5th year option, right? What we want them to do, and what we talked about extensively, is okay, you drafted, you identified year 3, you're going to save that $5-ish million over the length of the contract. Now that might pivot you to a third contract, but that frees you up with a little bit of wiggle room while they're here to go add some people. So yeah, I think for me, and I've kind of said this a lot in spaces, if something that would signal me a actual, not optics, but changing of the guard is if they do Tyler Smith this year. If they do Tyler Smith, I'm like, okay, we're moving differently now, right? They're starting to get it now. But if they don't do that, and if they take Micah into June, July, I'm like, you did some things great, but you still missed the mark. And that's what we're kind of, hurry up and wait for.
Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like getting the jump on Tyler Smith would definitely be new. But like for me personally, when I saw the Max Crosby news kind of shaking, I was like, all right, bro, here we go. Here we go. Cause so but hopefully what my hope is, my silver lining is that there was a conversation between Micah and Osa behind the scenes. So it's kind of like, when Pat and Chris Jones were trying to get their deal at the same time here in Kansas State. They were like, hey, bro, I left some money on the table for you. Like they were kind of talking together to make it work. So that's probably the conversation. And Micah, you said you ain't got to be the highest paid, and you said you want to get the deal done early. So it's going to be interesting to see how things shape out. But yeah, I feel like if they get Micah done, just not from a cap space standpoint, but just from a production on the field and continuity of the team. That you want him around your new coaching staff. You don't want him in Cabo when a brand new coaching staff. Again, you want Micah in the mix. You want these players in the mix. Hell, Mike McCarthy even said, he's like, man, I would like to have my players here. Would it be cool? You know what I'm saying? My last year when y'all trying to fire me, if I have my guys here. So hopefully that is the case when it comes to the defensive guys, especially with Micah Parsons, that you get them done early. That way, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for.
I was gonna say, it's like the other thing too with the Osa deal. Was there any down bads in the media? Was there any dragging them through the mud to get it done? Right, very, very, very quiet for them. And just look, if we go back to the combine, well, hold on, let me rewind real quick.
Right.
If we go back to the Senior Bowl, and the thing that Stephen Jones said at the Senior Bowl, right? He said Osa is a high priority, but we're gonna let Eberflus come in here and give us his take on it. All right. Then we fast forward to the combine. He said, "Yeah, we are look, nobody be clear. I think this is important. Nobody reported the Cowboys entered negotiations with Osa. What we heard from Stephen Jones is we're negotiating with Osa right now." And I was like, "Oh, right now." I was like, "Oh." And then we got to Friday again.
That's why Jerry was pissy at the combine. Jerry's pissed.
Oh man, maybe so.
I ain't
maybe so.
Nobody,
Maybe so.
Pissy to pay his own players.
Yeah. and then we got the numbers dropped or whatever. And I mean, boy, let me say, Mike Fisher was the first one to the point. Oh my God, different times. I don't know. He neither here nor there. And then we got to Monday. Deal wasn't done, and then the quote unquote franchise tag. And then they moved the needle and they got it done, obviously. But again, there was nothing on different networks or radio shows or anything else. There was nothing about, well, we want to sign Osa but this, or well, we like Osa but this. Like we like, we're being honest, right? Like we know when they negotiate a bigger deal of this ilk, there's usually a little dirt that comes along with it, right? Is that fair to say, Tug?
Yeah, and the thing I was wondering is of course they wouldn't handle business, but is that because Osa isn't a big name? You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of us Cowboys fans, we know Osa, but if you walked around town in Osa Odighizuwa, people are like, what is that? Like, so maybe just wasn't headliners the way they wanted to attack it. But I feel like also it just wasn't, there was no need to. We know the type of player that Osa is. Osa, you know what I'm saying? He's I met him a few times, he's done some stuff. Like he's not that type of mudslinging guy where you can kind of turn the fan base against him. You see what I'm saying? So, it's good. But here's what I always say about that, y'all. You remember not last year, but the previous season when we lost to Green Bay. Remember how we were just chilling and it's like, oh, we got Stephon Gilmore. Well, that was nice. And then we're kind of sitting chilling on a random Tuesday. Oh, we signed Trayvon Diggs. Well, jeepers, that was nice. Like it was just a quiet offseason, focused on football. They got Brandon Cooks, got Stephon Gilmore, re-signed Diggs. Now they kind of maybe whipped in the draft, but okay. But it was like a quiet offseason. It doesn't have to be sloppy. And that's the one thing, again, that I love about CeeDee Lamb when he came out and spoke up for Micah. It was like, don't y'all get tired of this? Like, don't y'all get tired of standard trade rumors and, hey, bro, can we just focus on football? With all the extra.
Oh, and then we had the whole thing today of Micah to the Patriots for our 12th, Micah in their 4th. I'm like, what are we? The math is not mathing. Like, what are we doing, DraftKings?
Way to go, DraftKings. Bro, just those parlays for the Bet MGMs and all these other betting sites. Just post your parlays, picks of the day. Focus on what you do. Don't leave the football talk alone. Like we don't need trade acquisitions and trade options from. You know what I'm saying? I was going to say my sponsor. But we don't need them either. You know what I'm saying? Just focus on sports bet. You see what I'm saying? So like, yeah, man, just stick to what you do. I saw that. It was a cool graphic, though. The graphic was fire. You know what I'm saying? When Joseph Hoyt posted, I was like, that's a fire graphic. But it's just one of those things. So I feel like, just get this Micah deal done, and then we can just focus on getting some guys and rebuilding this roster because there's a lot of work to do. Osa, like I said, Osa was like telling my kids, take the trash out. Okay, take the trash out. Congratulations. We still got to clean your room. Yeah, we got to get your grades right. We got a lot of work to do, but that's step one in the right direction. Hopefully, they
Right.
don't rest in their laurels and be like, okay, we got you guys, Osa, have at it. You're
Right.
happy now. Yeah,
Sure.
DMV, that graphic was fire. I was like, ooh, that graphic designer game is crazy. So yeah, so
They done that cooked. They done that cooked with that one.
yeah,
But they got cooks. But neither here nor there.
yeah. I mean, the jersey swap, someone who's graphic designed before and does a jersey swap, like it's difficult to do. You know what I'm saying? But they got it lined up.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I see my guy Vaughn saying, "Fix the damn defense." So let's talk about the defense. A lot of people they're shooting slugs every time I post them out. You ain't even fix the defense. Like I thought the defense was fine at the end of the year, but hey, maybe I was watching a different team. So when it comes to this Cowboys defense, the position I want to do on focus is the safety room. With Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker, we just brought back Wanye. You said we don't know what's going on with Bell. How would you address this safety room specifically, bro? Because for me personally, I need a new car smell, and I think it's time to finally give Wanye the keys, and maybe this safety core in this draft is pretty nice. But I think it's kind of time for an overhaul. But what's your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think I don't think this Cowboys team is a full rebuild, but I've been very vocal on this side of I think the offense is a couple pieces. If that makes sense. I think it's a couple pieces for the offense. I think the defense is a full rebuild. I'm just gonna be clear with y'all, and we just kind of walk it out, right? From Quinn to Zimmer to now Eberflus. We look at the guys that are not here. The injuries hurt there, right? Like Diggs injury, Demo injury, that sets this thing back, and you had to acquiesce and apply some things there. So I think this defense is in the full rebuild for sure. Let's fast forward to the safety position. Look, and when I say this, look, I'm not a guy that uses the wash term. I'm very big on that. I don't think that's very fair. I think when we're out here in these social media streets and we call a guy a wash or whatever, well, they'll probably line up and outrun you in a 40.
Right.
Okay. And I think they'll probably absolutely destroy you in an Oklahoma drill. If you know what the Oklahoma drill is, go dial it up. Okay. Right. So let's be clear there.
Basketball players back in the day.
Yeah. Let's be clear. But I think it's fair to say that Hooker, not because he isn't taking care of his body or anything else, the injuries indifferently have taken a step away from him, or maybe two. And I think that's fair to say. When you look at and some of this could be tied to money too, obviously, because that's the business of the NFL and the time that we're in right now. Donovan Wilson, I think if you're talking about a defense, keep everything in front of you and go tackle somebody is probably a better option in that realm. But there's things to be had there and how Eberflus thinks about it. Wanye, I don't know. Tuck, we've been around here without Wanye. I don't know whether it was the last year of Quinn or the first year or the only year of Zimmer. Whenever Wanye was on the field, it just seems like good things happen.
Even in preseason,
I mean, just good things happen. So let's explore that more, right? At the end of the day. Right now for this roster, safety wise, and what they can bring to the table when it comes to Bell and Izzy Mukwamu, and be clear, I like Bell, but I'm looking at the system and everything else that's going on. I'm probably leaning more towards Mukwamu than Bell personally. Right. Now, I think there's a spectrum. If you bring both those guys back, you make a decision on one of the two, Dono and Hooker, and get a guy. Sure, I'm okay there. But we were in the wasteland of safeties prior to Dan Quinn getting here.
Right.
Dan Quinn got here and made safeties matter again. And now we're kind of back in the wasteland. So I'm very keen and I'm very in tune to how this team, particularly with Eberflus in here, how they go about the safety position this offseason. But yeah, there's some move. I don't know what the right move is. As I kind of laid everything out there. But because I'm not Eberflus, but whatever that is, let's give him the latitude right now to make the moves that he thinks he needs is where I'd be at.
Yeah, man, we've come a long way from doing these shows banging the desk for Earl Thomas. We came a long way.
The GOAT Jeff Heath. Hold on,
Yeah,
the GOAT
yeah,
Jeff Heath even?
Jeff
Yeah,
Heath what's the guy Scooty, man, Xavier Woods, so we came a long way from there, but I felt like what it was is we were so down and out when we got Malik Hooker. It was just like, oh, okay, here I am, but
we got a guy.
We got a guy, but did we get a guy, right? And I feel like at the safety position, it's time that we go get a guy. And like you said, when it comes to one,
I got a name.
I like the versatility. Got a name? Holland.
Oh, come on now. It's awesome.
Yeah. Let's draft. That's how long me and Nick's been doing this coverage. I already know who's already thinking about it. It comes to Javon Holland, right? You know what I'm saying? We wanted him in the draft. It's crazy to think this. He's already a free agent already.
Oh my God. Time flies.
Time flies, bro. Time. I remember doing the live show talking about Micah Parsons and JC Horn and
remember. Hey, hold on. Remember me, you and Spoon. We was doing the draft show leading up to the draft that we got Micah, and we got right to the tail end. And I was like, you know what's interesting to me? It's like nobody has talked about Micah Parsons to the Cowboys.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we kind of knew the cornerbacks or whatever, but shout out to Jeff Kavanaugh, because remember he's the problem to that, because at that time, remember, he dropped the pipe bomb. What if all the quarterbacks are gone? And we're like, there's no way all quarterbacks are gone. Shout out to Jeff Kavanaugh. So we kind of walked down that path, and I was like, okay, but Micah Parsons, and we're like, damn, that's kind of crazy. And me and you and Sue kind of looked at each other, was like, well, shit, what if he is on the board? Like, if the doomsday scenario that Kavanaugh's kind of putting out here, what if he is there? And we kind of had that conversation. I don't know where you can find that. It might have been Pick Six, might have been on his.
It's very deep. It's out there.
Look. Hold on. It's way over there. And then we had that conversation. We had that conversation. And then, funny enough, because me, you and Sweetie had that conversation, there was not a lot of conversation at the time about that in general. And then
remember what they were doing. They were releasing all the interviews. They released the picks and they released. I was like, they released one for certain reason. So I was like,
they told us you can't draft an off-ball linebacker at 10. At that point, 10. You can't take an off-ball linebacker at 10. Like this year. You can't take a running back at 12.
You just can't. I'm like, oh man, I wish I still kept those tweets from back in the day, y'all. But it was
for sure.
You don't understand how bad it was. I remember when I made the video after that night about Micah Parsons to be the pick, and it was just like,
facts.
So when we drafted him, I was just like, damn it. It was right there in front of our faces. He wasn't looking. So I was shocked that and that's what turned me into the draft, was like, all right, we can see these things for ourselves. So it's like, so I think this draft season, there's a lot of close to the chest people. You know what I'm saying? It kind of caught me off guard when Luther Burden was like, you can't tell me he spoke to the Cowboys? Okay. Say no more, but say no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right. So it's going to
be we don't disagree often. I'm telling you now. I'm not a Burden guy. I look, you and y'all been trying to talk me into it the whole nine. I get it. I'm just not a Burden guy.
Man,
y'all see it? I don't. It's okay. I miss. Nobody bets 1,000.
Yeah, but I think I'm a Burden guy because I feel like he's an energy shift. He's a mindset shift for our offense. I know the Cowboys won't do it. It's way too. He's not going to be a wide receiver that's cool with getting 3 to 4 targets a game. Like, no. Like, so if you want a guy who's going to be Cowboys friendly, Dak friendly, then it goes to Mecca Ibuka for me.
Ibuka. Yeah, you go. See, here we are. We're tied together again.
Yeah. So that's
he's a Amari Cooper. He's a younger Amari Cooper.
He's a younger Amari Cooper.
He's a younger Amari Cooper. Being tactician the whole night. He's a younger Amari Cooper. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, young Amari Cooper. He's cool with being a Robin. So 4 or 5 targets, 65 yards, maybe a tutty here and there. He's cool with that. Luther Burden gonna slam the helmet. He gonna break some stuff. You see what I'm saying? And we know it's not what the Cowboys temperament is. And my guy is saying T-Mac. I'm trying, Knicks. I've been trying to do these mock drafts on PFF and get T-Mac to fall for me. He don't fall to me in PFF. I'm about to do it manually myself.
Same. They never give it to me either. Look, October. You dial up my tweets. I go search it. T-Mac for me since October is my number
Yeah.
one. And Tuck, the funny thing about how we were kindred spirits to a certain extent because we didn't know each other at the time, we kind of circled back and did things. We were both on the train of a Lamb conversation. We just didn't know each other,
Right.
and you can go dial up the footage and everything, and
Reaction
how much
videos.
like yeah, like and it really it was so crazy for me in my walk because I didn't know you then. Like my walk was I was talking about Lamb in like November, right? And I
Mhm.
had a lot of Cowboys fans talking about we don't need a wide receiver. We don't.
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, it don't matter. Like, bro, actually, we do need a wide receiver first and foremost, neither here nor there, but he's going to be the best on the board and all these different things and what happened in the whole nine. And we landed it. So, I mean, if we can repeat a little bit of history here with T Mac at 12, I mean, sign me up. Now, there's a long way to get there.
Yeah,
Obviously, we have
it's a
to
long
build
way to
this
get there.
roster. They have to do some things and how things operate and whatnot. But if things move in a particular way where that wide receiver is a little bit more of a blinking light. Yeah,
Right.
man. I mean, T
I bet.
Mac at 12 on the board, and then sure, sign me up, walk away, and
Yeah.
there's what we used to say, there's drinks and refreshments in the back.
Yeah.
Just circle around, get on
Yeah,
board, and
get
we're
on
good.
board. Get on board. If he's there, I'm tossing the car, man. I'm tossing. And what was so funny about the whole City Lamb thing, I remember being on Skywalker Steel Show because kind of like one of my first shows I ever
Mhm,
done,
mhm.
y'all. And I was like, yeah, we should draft City Lamb, and I'm explaining why. You know, me being oblivious to this content space, I'm watching the chat. This guy sucks. He's horrible. We don't need a wide receiver. We need to go Clavion
Yeah, yeah,
Jason, Caesar Reese.
yeah. All that chasing talk, bro. That chasing talk was so heavy, bro. The chasing talk was so heavy, and I was like, man, I was battling people. Look, now, this is back in my Facebook days. I was battling people on
Whoa.
Facebook. I was like, Chase is not him. I don't really, he's not that guy, pal. And I mean, yeah, it was a
Yeah,
fun time, man,
well,
for
I
sure.
mean, we need CD, but I'm open to some other
Yeah,
options.
yeah,
Yeah, like it's
for
funny.
sure, for sure.
It's funny, but it's funny. But yeah, the opportunity to get T Mac and then circle back in the second or
Sure.
third round and get a running back, I feel like it's definitely a void.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay. Let me say you something, Cal. So before you do that, I'm gonna say something real quick, and then we'll pivot. Look, I dropped this on January 26th before it was out here. It dropped today. Now I dropped it on January 26th. I said, "Hey, DK Metcalf's a possibility." Now, and I dropped it out there. Look. Be clear. I got honey roasted it when I dropped it in January.
yeah.
Today, though,
Oh
an
yeah.
interesting different day because he actually requested the trade finally, and they acquiesced. So
Mhm.
here's my thing and my question for you, Tuck. And here's been my entire selling point when it comes to him. And now it matters even more because I did this is before they flipped the lever on Dak, but now it makes more sense.
Mhm.
All right, they're picking where? 18, right?
Mhm.
17, 17, 18?
Mhm.
Where they at?
Great.
Okay.
17 maybe something like that. Yeah.
It's either 17 or 18. I'm gonna flip first with you for DK Metcalf. I'm gonna sit at your pick at 17 or 18. Okay. Look, and if I gotta throw you a kicker, a fifth round pick, so be it. I got
Mhm.
four of them. You can have one. And then I'll take Hampton at your pick. Pause. I have DK. We extend him out 3, 4 years for the window because the window is definitely hard now. I know we had talked about that. It's a
Mhm.
hard window now with flipping the deck lever. Okay.
Mhm.
And the lamb lever too, if we're being honest. It's a hard window. I have Lamb. I have Metcalf. I'm not out on Mingo. Y'all can be. Fuck the draft
Right.
capital. Excuse me. I didn't mean to cuss.
Good.
Uh, and then I throw Hanson in there. I go draft all my defense after this and whatever.
Mhm.
If that's a possibility lane to do, I think that's the vision because I know the Adams are being talked about or whatever. And I've been out here. Look, number one free agent wise wide receiver. Y'all
Mhm.
know who's in the jumbo, if you will, on Lambs. I would love to be a Hollywood and draft a guy.
Right.
But if I can flip first and give him a fifth and take DK and extend him, which we have the ability to do now, and get
Mhm.
Hampton with that first round pick that we go back to and then go draft defense,
Oh,
brother,
that's
I think
scary.
we can cook. I
That's
think we
scary.
can cook.
That's all we really need. That's all we really need because you got Turpin. He can play, wide receiver 3, Tober, whoever, so he can have a wide
Yeah,
receiver.
Mingo, whoever,
Yeah,
right?
Mingo, whoever, and you go and get DK Metcalf, CeeDee Lamb and Amari Hampton, I'm having a CeeDee Lamb type reaction. I would love that. Now, does Hoodie Jerry have the courage to do that and the mindset to do that? I'd love to see. You know what I'm saying? Black Hoodie Jerry. We need
Let me
Black
grab.
Hoodie Jerry. You
Where's
know what I'm
it?
saying?
Where's it? Where's it? Let me get it. Let me get it up. All right, let's go. We got the black hoodies up. Let's go.
We need Black Hoodie Jerry, man, to think
Black
that.
Air Force Ones, Jerry.
Yeah, not the white Air Forces. And so we need Jerry on the yacht to be that creative. So
Hey, you know what? Hey,
here's what I'll say, y'all.
I got on.
I think Amari Hampton's going top 20 earlier than that.
Oh, I agree. Look, I'll do that in January.
6 or 7, you're probably looking in the 14, 15 range.
Well, you know what the Bears did today? You saw what the Bears did today, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That lines them up for that. And I try to tell people all the time, what we're talking about the draft right now is cool as the talent acquisition period happens.
Right.
Via trade, via free agency. It's not about us. It's about everybody in front of us and what they're doing. That's going to kind of let you know what's going to happen. I'm with you. I've been on the train for about a week and a half now. I don't think GT gets past the Raiders per se, maybe, depending on how they build that thing with a peak here on the building.
Right.
And the Bears thing, I was like, and I had a conversation with different people. I was like, bro, that old line is atrocious. There's no way. What they did today, though, says, oh, you can say Jinty now.
Right.
But I've been the guy that thought that three running backs were going in the first round anyways. That was my hot take for this draft. And I did have it at Hampton, Jinty, and I had Caleb Johnson. I'm going to cool off on Caleb Johnson a little bit. That might slid him back, but then I look at different guys and say, I think there's a guy still, because once we get, I mean, brother, Mr. Wizard, okay, pause. We look at the draft, we know once we get to about 13, 14, 15, we got a geography lottery for certain players. 15 through 32, it's point flip.
Yeah,
point flip. What do you like?
It gets spooky, and that's like, honestly, I was doing a mock draft, and like, of course, Jinty went, T-Mac went, and then let's see who else. Like a few players went that I kind of high on, and then it was just like, well, shit, Tuck, what do you do? That's why I did the Simmons, and like then you start talking about Kelvin Banks or Micah or William Johnson, like, so then it kind of
status.
It's like, wait, get me up out of here, bro. I'm too nervous, I'm too antsy, because it's like it's something on the plate, but it's not what I really want, right? And that's, shout out to Micah Parsons. He had to come back and beat Tampa and Washington. You know what I'm saying? This draft is going to be going a whole lot smoother, and we could have been talking about Travis Hunter and some of those guys. We kind of but now it really comes down to like what happens with Mason Graham. Does he fall outside the top 10? Because I don't know. He went on Weight Watchers before the combine, so it's like
296 short arms. Yeah,
come on, bro, what are you doing? So it's like, so it's going to be interesting to see how things shape out. Where it's like, okay, some of these players might slide. People are going to start reaching. I feel like with Jinty's name, it's going to be like with Pitts. It was just like, you know what? I don't need him, but shit, I'm gonna grab him. I'm just gonna grab him, and just because of FOMO, right? But then when that happens, it might be like Bijan and Gibbs. Where remember we were doing these mock drafts, and my dog Roman was like, "Oh, we'll get Gibbs in a second. We're gonna be good." Dan Campbell said, "Absolutely not. Absolutely not today." And I remember sitting there.
Well, I mean, and Gibbs even said, "Yeah, the Cowboys were gonna play it where we at 26 or 27."
Yeah, 26. Yeah,
it was like, no. Yeah. Campbell's like, no. Here.
You're right. Yeah, you already got, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's going to be one of those situations where I feel like you said, it's too blurred when it comes, like it's not a lot of clear separation, So I feel like when that's the case,
tags are touching
chaos, So and my dog Rose, I'm still mad, bro. We thought we was getting Gibbs in the second. We was Gucci,
No, sir.
And also I'm gonna turn back around and get a linebacker. So the hell with your Dan Campbell does not care about colorful charts. And then he turned around and got a tight end. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't care about y'all colorful charts. He broke all the rules.
I saw the Nation right in the third round, but neither here nor there. Measurables.
No, yeah, man. I'm so sick of measurables in Dallas. So, for me personally, when it comes to the draft, we're kind of not talking about draft. We're all over the place, but it's cool. It's how me and Nick does. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we might mess around, go 4 or 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? No, we ain't gonna do that tonight, but we can. But I feel
We
like
will.
this draft, it needs to be instant impact. I want
Mhm.
my models. I want guys I can play Madden with. I need some guys I can play Madden with. Instant impact guys.
Mhm. And what we need in this draft. Shout out to my guy Dom, man. He was the first when I heard it, and I was like, yeah, you're right. We need high floor guys.
Right.
We need high floor guys, typically the first 3 rounds.
Right.
Now,
Mhm.
after that, you got fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, whatever. But the
Right.
first 3 rounds, we need high floor impact guys. We need
Right.
high floor. Maybe your still is not as high. Maybe
Right.
not. But like let's go to TCU for a second,
Mhm.
right? Josh, more of a high floor than Savion.
Right.
Now, Savion, though, that ceiling
Right.
could be through the roof.
Right.
So for us and where we're at, you gotta go to the high floor. Gotta take Besh outside of Savion for me right now, and where
Right.
things are constituted. We'll see how
Mhm.
they move and what they add and whatever the case may be. But yeah, yeah. I mean, high floor guys is where the
Right.
Cowboys absolutely have to be. I completely
It
agree
shouldn't be
there.
a guy like, well, he played this position. And if you put him in the right offense, and if you do
Oh,
it,
yeah,
and
you
you
do the
scheme him
right
open,
things. If you
yeah, you
squint
scheme
your
him open.
eyes, if you squint your
Yeah,
eyes a little bit, yeah,
you know what I'm
no.
saying?
If
I'm
he's
not,
a
I'm not
player, yeah,
doing
give me him.
right, right. I
you
need
know,
I need somebody that what. Soon as we draft and call his name, we know he's the best on our team at that
Mhm.
position. And I feel like
Right.
that's why I'm pro Genty, right? Pro Genty, pro
Sure.
Hampton. Like
Sure.
even in those conversations about signing Rico and pairing with the back in the draft. Okay, cool. If you do that, you got Amari Hampton. Amari
Let
Hampton's
me.
RB1, bro. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So,
Can I have a conversation with you real quick about
uh,
Rico? Is that
oh
okay?
man, I mean Rico's going.
I'm
I
sorry.
feel like Rico's gonna swing on me in public, bro.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. That's okay. That's okay. Look, and when I say this, I don't dislike Rico. Like
right,
it's not about it's not about disliking him, right? It's not about disliking him or doing anything else. Yeah. I'm gonna say Brown 2.0 Restrepo. It is what it is. Tuck, I'm putting you on the spot. If you want to answer it, that's okay. Tell me what you think Rico does exceptionally well.
hard worker.
Hard worker. Okay. Grinder. And again, and here's where I draw my line is and I don't use the Jag term negatively, just a guy. I think that's unfair, and because you need those guys on your roster.
Right.
Absolutely. And maybe the Cowboys haven't had enough of Jags, if we're being honest.
Mhm.
Okay. We had a guy by the name of Noah Brown.
Mhm.
Okay. And he's absolutely a consummate professional. He
Mhm.
absolutely is an NFL roster player. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. He is a 5 or 4 special teamer. It's going to be great for you, but he's not a 3 or a 2.
Right.
That's what he is. Right. I look at Rico the same as I look at Noah Brown. I think Rico is, if he's your third running back on your roster, that's great. Special teams,
Right.
what he brings to the table, everything is fantastic. As a number 2, I don't think the room's good enough.
Right.
And I'm just being honest. And I appreciate what he's went through, hip injury, the whole nine, the first ever undrafted Cowboy to rush for 1,000 yards. I'm not just. I want to be very clear that I'm not. I don't do the wash talk. I don't disrespect players.
Right.
Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm just talking about from a where the Cowboys are trying to get as we're going to the 30th anniversary of not going to a conference championship game. It's going to be the heavy talk as we move forward.
Right.
Nick Chubb at a 1 year, $3.3 million deal is better than as a 2 than Rico.
Right.
And
1000%.
and and that's the things that I look at
Mhm.
that standpoint. Um, so yeah, I appreciate Rico. What a phenomenal year that he had. I wish he would have got we had the talk to. He should have
Right.
been the guy out the gate either way, no matter what we think about how good that would have been or not or whatever.
Mhm.
He should have been the guy. But yeah, it's not good enough. This roster has to upgrade to get to
Right.
where we go. We can't sit in the hang around the we've been lulled into the hang around the rim. Well, you rushed for 1,000 yards. That's good enough.
Yeah, and
Let's
if you
bring you
look at
back.
since
It's
week
okay.
11, he's outperformed Jahmyr Gibbs since come on, bro. What are we doing?
Right.
Like,
It's not the same.
He's not the type of player that's keeping defensive coordinators up at night because of the scheme for.
Right.
You know?
With
there
Cooper
was
Rush.
With Cooper Rush. There were, because I know a lot of people knock our offensive line. There was some holes. And Rico he just didn't have the burst to escape anybody. And those are traits. Those are traits you can't coach. Bucky Irvin got vision. So those are traits you cannot coach. And it's no knock to Rico. He just is who he is. But it's just like
he is who he is.
It just put fear in nobody. It put fear in nobody. It's the same thing with not just Rico. I would say the same thing about my guy Jalen Tolbert and Jalen Brooks. Like good quality guys. You need rotational pieces, but for what we're trying to get to and where we're trying to go, you need some real killers. You need some real killers where it's just like, okay, where CD can have an off day, it's okay. Our running back can handle it. Like we don't have that. Right. If CD and Dak have an off day, it's good night. It's good night. It's good night. So we need the caliber of team that I would love for, and I said this, a long time ago, I was talking about Amari Hampton. I would love to have a situation where Dak went 11 for 17 for 182 yards, but Amari Hampton went for 172 and 3. I'm like, we need that type of game.
Right. So, I mean, it's just. I mean,
you had said this, Nick. I feel like we are very top heavy. We have names, like we have talent, but we don't have a roster. You see what I'm saying? And I know you were saying that on Twitter. Like it's a difference. I think people, we got Micah Parsons and we got Dak Prescott and but you need more than that when it comes. Especially with us, we're always getting hit with injuries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, we have to normalize the difference within our fandom of what a talented roster is versus what a well-built roster is at the end of the day.
Right.
And we have been a talented roster. Look, let's walk the path. It ain't even about the last 5 years. We can walk the path. It's been a talented roster. It just has not been a championship well-built roster at the end of the day. Like Zack Martin got paid today, right? Let's go to Zack Martin real quick. And look, the Cowboys were kind of in the market for Zack Martin, for being honest, but he landed over there and he wasn't even a starter. But then you watch how he produced, and now he parlayed that to a payday. But that's almost our J-Ron Curse, who was a guy that was signed as the afterthought special teams guy. Then he walked through the door, did something well for us. Maybe not to the same ilk of a Zack Baun, but boy, J-Ron Curse was a year one, and what Curse brought to the table, man, that dude was a baller. He played, and injuries and different things happened, but we don't get enough of that on the return. But I mean, we are always, and it's the Jones way. I don't want to say Jones way, Cowboy way. Sure, Jones way. We have talent. We'll always have talent. In our 5-11 seasons, Tuck, we had Lawrence Glover, Dat Wynn, Dexter Coaxley. We had talent. We had talent the 5-11 3 straight years. We had talent. Wasn't a well-built roster. It wasn't a well-built roster, though. And that's kind of the difference. I said we have to normalize talent versus a well-built roster. And that's kind of with the Dak flip that we're looking for them to go and be active and produce a well-built roster. And we'll see where that lands. Because we had the conversations of linebacker. Oh, my God, what are we doing on linebacker? Oh, remember whenever Cooper got up out of here? I'm not trying to regurgitate that. It was James Washington and Tolbert. That was the replacement. So we have been very clear for, I think we can, look, I'll go on the low end. Man, you have been very clear about 4 years now plus of, it's not about, because we get chastised about, y'all want to keep all these players. Y'all are worried about the players. We're like, no, it's not about keeping the players. We're okay moving on. You have to replenish the talent that you you let leave the building. And we haven't done that well enough. And therein lies the problem of the Cowboys and what happens.
Right. Because even like take San Francisco, right? What are the conversations like, okay, they moved on from Debo, and however you feel about Debo is how you feel. But now they're talking about they can replenish that with T-Mac. You see what I'm saying? They're not saying, oh, well, the 49ers can replace Debo with some fourth round wide receiver. It's like, okay, if you're going to move on from Amari Cooper, you need to go and replenish that in James Washington and Tolbert. I tell people it was unfair for Tolbert to come in as a third round pick from South Alabama. Okay, you're supposed to be Amari Cooper replace. Whoa. You know,
Mhm.
you move on from Tyron Smith and you have Tyler Guyton, who's never played left tackle. You're the replacement. Go out
Yeah.
there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Like so that is the problem. Like they never kind
Mhm.
of think about those things. I feel like the arrogance when it comes to the Cowboys in the draft. Oh, what's fixing the draft?
Sure.
What's fixing the draft? But absolutely not.
Yeah.
You should go into the draft not hungry. I always kind of preach that. Don't go to the grocery store hungry. You're gonna be grabbing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I've done it numerous times.
All the things, all
Other
the
day,
food.
other day I was in the grocery store. I grabbed 3 boxes of cheeses. Why? Because I was just hungry.
Like
Like,
I don't need the cheeses. I
I
need to
don't
get
know.
some
I
more
didn't even
healthier
like cheeses
things. What
like
are we
that.
doing?
I even like cheeses, but I got the toasted kind. I got, what I'm saying? I got all sorts of
Mhm.
cheeses. And my wife's like, why'd you grab all these cheeses? Because I'm hungry. I'm just grabbing stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
for the Cowboys, it's going to be important that they actually eat their protein, eat their dinner in free
There you go.
agency. And then you can
Yeah.
play around in the draft. Then you can sprinkle in a Genty or a Hampton or whatever on top of that and not expect an all team of rookies to come out there and have instant impact. Because you might get one, you
Sure.
might get 2 if lucky. So, that's the thing. It's like, look at the Eagles. Yeah, they still went and got, Quinyon Mitchell, and they went and got um um what's his name? Out of Iowa.
Oh, yeah, Cooper DeJean.
Cooper DeJean, right? But they
Yeah.
still kept Slay. They still kept their core guys and just added talent on top of that. I feel like that's the biggest fault when it comes to
Yeah.
the Cowboys. If we're going to add talent, we're going to tear it all up, move on, and then hopefully these draft kids can come in year one and replenish. So it's going to be an interesting situation. Before we go, Knicks, of course, Zack Martin retirement.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the Hall of Famer and Zack Martin?
Can I do a two-part there? Can
Yeah,
I do
go
a
ahead.
two-part?
Yeah.
Um, man, salute to the Gob first and foremost, and what he brought to the table, and absolutely unequivocally a key piece in the quote unquote second wall that the Cowboys had. And I know he got hurt this year and things were happening, and I was battling with people like he's not as good anymore. I'm like, bro, he's hurt. Like you don't
Right.
understand. Um, man, just like it's very fresh, but I do buy the talk of as we move along in this thing. There's Larry Allen in Cowboys history, that is.
Mhm.
There's Larry Allen and there's Zack Martin. That's your
Mhm.
guards. Like
Right.
when everybody runs these, name the Cowboys all time line. It'll literally be at guard. Larry Allen, left guard, right guard is going to be
Zack
Zack Martin.
Martin.
Like let's understand that first and foremost. As he spoke and said when he was a rookie that went to the Hall of Fame, he took a selfie with Larry Allen's bus. I want to see that picture.
Right.
Period. I want to see that picture of rookie Zack Martin with the bus of Larry Allen, RIP for sure. But it's also for that's one side in the consummate professional and what he brought to the table. And we knew then if we go back to that day in time, and I remember personally because I'm in the greater East Texas area, and I knew I was like, and I told people around my area that thought it was crazy. I was like, Johnny Miller was going to be on the board. We're going to find out who runs the team. Is it Jerry or Steven? That's where
Mhm.
I was. And like, oh, Nick's you're crazy. He's not going to be there. And I'm like, no, he's going to be there. I'm just telling you. Before I was doing content, I haven't seen everything. I was
Right.
like, he's going to be there. And then we got to the night, and we were in a draft party, and everything. And he was on the board, and everybody looked at me. Was like, oh my god! I was like, I tried to tell y'all. They were like, we're
Mhm.
like 20 deep. And then the pick came down. It was Zach Martin, and I say, and I remember I ran out there on back in Facebook days, and I was like, if you think Jerry Jones ruined the team, you're wrong. It's Stephen Jones. And
Right.
I was out there. I was running my victory lap then, much differently
Right.
then, to now and where it's at. And then, of course, Jerry talking about Stephen King coming to the table for that, which is cool and everything. And that's kind of the Zach Martin experience. Um, for the fan base in general, I would say, sure, it's another future Hall of Famer or all time great. I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I think he's
Yeah,
a
first
gold
ballot
jacket guy.
easily.
But
Easily.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's first ballot, But unfortunately, particularly for the younger people that wasn't around for the Super Bowls like I was, I'm an old head.
Right.
Yeah, man, it sucks. Dez, Witten, Romo. I mean, D Ware got one somewhere else, but not here. I mean,
Right.
just go up and down the list of guys: Frederick, Tyron Smith. I mean, we just named the names, or we can kind of go down the list
Mhm.
of the names of guys that good enough, but we as an organization and a team we couldn't get over the hump, and a guy that deserved. Amongst others, to play at the top tier of these games, and it
Yeah.
didn't happen. And that's the thing that I take away from that. That sucks for the fan base. It sucks for him as a consummate professional. That he didn't get to play at the top tier of things and where it's at, and hopefully that changes. But man, I tell you what, I've watched a lot of guys in my time. Forget the consummate professional stuff, if you will, Tuck.
Mhm.
He might be the best. My verbiage for him would be maybe the best technician that we've ever had in
Right.
my viewing, not
Mhm.
before my viewing. And I saw Larry Allen, and that guy's just a monster. And
Right.
he was a different player. From a technician, you ain't getting off today. Look, technically, I'm gonna whoop your ass, if you
Mhm.
will.
Right.
Zach Martin had it in spades, and that's the thing that I would leave with Zach Martin is from a technical standpoint. I don't know if I've seen a guy better in my lifetime of 46 years than Zach
Mm.
Martin.
Yeah, I 1000% agree. Like, it's just like it wasn't that even though he has the size and the stature and the power, he just
Sure.
didn't outpower people. He out
Oh.
thought people. And my guy losing the building. So I know he appreciate like the technique, the hands. I mean, we all know the
Mhm.
penalties, right? Like
Yeah.
minimal penalties. Like it was just all there, the complete package. Now, before I was a draft wizard, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
was always seasoned because
You
I
was a
was like,
Manziel. You was a
yeah,
Manziel
I was
guy.
1000%
Yeah.
Manziel. I
You
remember
was Smoody. You was hashtagging Manziel back in the day,
I
like
remember
Smoody
I
in the
remember
roster.
exactly where I was. I was sitting at Buffalo Wild Wings, sitting at some coworkers. We
Uh-huh.
went to watch the draft, and I was
Yeah.
ready for Manziel. Then like he's not. I'm like, bro, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be there. And when he got on at the board, I was like, here he
Mm.
is. Here Manziel time. Jared's gonna do it. Johnny had posted
Johnny
the
Football.
picture with him and Daz, at the pool party. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's going down.
Yeah.
It's Manziel time. And they
Yeah.
said Zack Martin out of Notre Dame. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Now I knew who Zack Martin was, of course. I watched college football. But I was like, an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
I'm Lou, I'm so sick of offensive linemen, dog. Like, I just knew that they were gonna go Johnny Manziel.
Right.
I was
Yeah.
so excited. But yeah, it worked out. Like Jerry said today, hey, this is the time I'm glad
Well,
I would
hey,
not be wrong, but constant professional, great guy. I got to speak with him at the Super Bowl. I tried, y'all. I tried. Yeah, hey,
yeah.
but I tried, man. But salute out to Zack Martin. I said I was going to post a picture of Westbrook when he was looking at KD's MVP trophy, because that's probably Micah Parsons
Yeah.
with that 99 chain for Zack Martin. Like, okay, man, somebody got to get it,
Gotta get it. Somebody gotta get it.
somebody got to get it. So salute to
But
Zack Martin.
it's a crazy point that we had our different takes on that. And one of my friends, he was a supreme. He went to A&M. He was a huge Aggie fan, the whole nine. And we didn't say Johnny Manziel. He's like, I'm done. And he followed Johnny Manziel. He followed him. As soon as they got Deshaun Watson, like, hey, can I be a Cowboys fan again? I'm like, brother, I mean,
come on back,
I
bro.
guess. I mean, sure, come on back, whatever the case may be. But I do think that's a great point that we just both made. We didn't realize we made it. I talked about my party and where it was, and we were talking about who's controlling the team and how the Cowboys have ultimately operated. And you talked about it in Buffalo. Why was it your people and what was going on? We didn't know each other then and
Mhm.
everything else. What a great point to kind of bring to the forefront of in Cowboys lineage and history. Like that was a pivotal point that we understood things were differently in how the front
Right,
office was and how
right,
things were moving. Now, for better or worse, throughout the concept of things,
right.
they got that one right. And also, let's not be clear, that was Will McClay's first draft. Right. And I think
Mm,
Will McClay has caught some slugs here over the past 2 years. And maybe that's more on McCarthy's tab than his. I don't know.
yeah, we'll
Allegedly.
see.
I'm
We'll
just gonna leave
see.
it allegedly.
We'll see.
Allegedly. But that was Will McClay's first draft at the head, if you will, the spear. And that's what they did. So uh full circle moment here. Uh, Sucks, not the ultimate goal, and
Right,
hopefully, we're in a different era now, Tuck. Let's be
right.
clear,
Yeah,
we're
new
in a different
leadership.
era,
New
new
leadership.
leadership, new guys. Like look, to be a man, you got to be the man, right? To be
Mhm,
a guy, you got to be a made guy's a paid guy.
mhm,
Okay, guess who's paid right now? Lamb, Osa.
mhm.
Hey, be clear, Micah is
Right.
coming. Now,
Yeah,
we hope sooner than later, but ultimately, and we know that that's the elder statesman, he's paid or whatever, but
right.
these are the forefront guys now.
Yeah. The
And we're
future
in
of
a
the
different era,
Cowboys.
not just coaching, yeah, not just the difference of the coaching staff or whatever, but from the paid guys and the made guys at the forefront, different era.
Yeah,
Buckle up and
and
see where it goes.
these are the guys that probably get another contract after this contract,
Sure,
so it's like,
that
and
part.
Mike kind of alluded to it, it's like, we had some guy, new leadership. He's been very vocal about new
Hmm.
leadership, and sometimes you just need those old voices get stale. Those old voices get stale in the locker
Sure.
room. So I feel like it's new energy, and I feel like if you can sprinkle just a little gasoline when it comes to this draft class and free agency on top of it, we can get back. And my dog Knicks, man, thanks for
Right.
joining me as always, brother. We can
Salute, brother.
definitely do this
Appreciate you,
out and
brother.
more. For everyone who's seen you for the first time, bro, let them know they can find you.
Man, pretty simple, man. These days and times, I'm just kind of over there on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Your underscore guy underscore Nix NIX. Hit the follow notifications on. We're in spaces damn near every day. Particularly this time of the year as things are breaking and doing whatever.
Right.
Pick Six Sports on YouTube. We'll see where it's at or whatever. I'm kind of a free agent now as
Yeah, there
well.
you go.
Yeah, I'm kind of a free agent now. I had a couple of seasons with the Pro Sports Fan app. Shout out to Sean Salisbury. He was the president over there. Had a good time with him. If y'all know him, go dial up his USC or Minnesota tape or
Right,
whatever.
right.
Had some good conversations over there. Had a
Yeah.
good time with there. Me and my guy, what you call it, had a good time over there. So yeah, man. Free agent, looking to maybe do some things this year. We'll see what happens. So yeah, but outside of that, man, yeah, your gun next underscores in between NIX, YouTube,
Yeah,
or
definitely give my
Twitter,
guys Twitter X, whatever they
whatever
call
the hell we're calling
it.
this thing,
Whatever call it. I call it Twitter.
Whatever Elon wants us to call it. I don't know
Their name on
anymore.
Twitter, I'm gonna call them Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I call it Twitter, man. But appreciate all y'all for tuning in. We appreciate all y'all rocking with us. Like I said, we could have went a lot longer, but it's kind of improv. We kind of felt like going live every day. We're gonna do this a whole
We're
lot
good.
more, keeping y'all engaged. We got a lot of draft content. Salute to everyone.
Tuck, I'm on the back porch. You know, I'm on the back porch. We can extend it, but neither here nor there. Let's
I
wrap it up. Let's wrap it. Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up.
gotta tap it with the wife.
Let's wrap it up.
Said. But also, I was gonna say, salute to everyone who's been joining the interview. So it's a lot to all the players who've been coming on the channel. We got a lot more lined up, y'all. So I just dropped the one with Zovan Lindsay today. Go ahead.
Let me tell you the time here. We disagree on shit. Let's be very clear. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
and me and Tuck, we disagree on things or whatever the case may be. But here's how things should happen. We can link up and still do things and have conversations. I want to be very clear as we're getting into the off season because there's going to be a lot of different takes and people are going to disagree and whatever.
Mhm.
And you'll see people go back and forth and disagree, whatever. Man, it's not really as deep as y'all think it is.
Right.
Like
It's not.
it's not. We have conversations, and I think sometimes people want to look at the outside and they're like, they
Right.
disagreed and it's about to go down.
No.
It's not that,
Absolutely not.
y'all. I just want to be very clear. There's a lot of people in the spectrum with fandoms and content creators or whatever,
Mhm.
and there's disagreements and things happen, and we have the conversation, we work it out. It's
Yeah.
not that deep. Like we all have the same goal in mind of the team operating the right
Right.
way to be better, and that's how we kind of get to, and that's how we operate. I just want to be
Mhm.
very clear on that standpoint. On the back end of that, I want to absolutely say this and take the time to say this. I mean, Tuck, from the room with nothing in the room. Okay, the same room where you saw my CD Lamb before I knew you, and I see the
Mhm.
little part. I know the story about that Parsons jersey, how he got sent off and everything else.
Right.
What
I was
happened there?
flipping out.
I absolutely understand.
I got jacked,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I absolutely know the backside of how all that went down, and your clarity on the camera, the different things, every step of the way, and things are going, and how you try to operate to be the guy within everybody. Let me allow the time here on your channel, and I'm here to say I salute you.
Thanks,
I
bro.
appreciate you in that realm because you deal with a lot of people that maybe have difference of opinions or whatever and whatever, but you're fluid in that realm. And I appreciate that about you and what you do. And on the back end, I'll say My man was at the Super Bowl. Let me be clear. I don't care if you're an Eagles guy, Boss, or whoever. I don't see y'all pulling up, but I see him pulling up. So until y'all are in the same room that my guys did, I know you're gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'm sorry, I'm messy, Tuck. I'm messy.
It's all good,
Until
man.
until you guys that say some different shit to be in the same rooms. I mean, hey man,
Yeah.
how about shut up, enjoy your trophy, and leave this dude alone. He's doing something different.
Appreciate you,
Salute,
dog.
brother.
Appreciate you, dog, man. Like I said, I would not be where I'm at today if it wasn't for those conversations and the Star Gang Facebook group. So we came a long way.
Star
And
Gang.
it's funny because it's like, people see me do like 4 or 5 shows in a day and be like, oh, how do you do that? Bro, we used to do this like nonstop. Like I still
free.
remember that show we did from like 6 o'clock at PM, like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Like we were just going through the draft content, but what a lot of people understood is we were building it's funny because in those mock drafts way back then, Bo Nix was coming out of Auburn, right? So you need like 4 of the schools. But it's like we were building mental callus where we can just sit back and just talk ball nonstop. So now it's easy for Nix to say, hey, send me a link, we send him a link, and it's just continuity and love. It's just easy,
Hold on. Peel back real quick. I saw you post. I said, shit, I like it. Send me a link. He sent me a link. And so I jumped in. So you ready to go? I said, yeah, boom. We turned on. There was no, hey, we're doing this. Hey, we're gonna hit this. We just turned it on and went. And that's the great part about it.
That's
we
continuity.
just
And that's what I love about our Cowboys content space. A lot of people that we've been rocking with for years. It doesn't take
Rome.
Rome, dude, Boss
Rome,
West,
dude.
goes on and on.
Come on, man.
Guy,
just turn it on. There's no prep. Just turn it on. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go rock, man. So I appreciate you, my dog. For y'all seeing me for the first time, of course, CFO Sports. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've been doing a lot of draft content, having a lot of credible kids, diamonds, kids. Even one from Miami, but salute to Elijah Austin.
Hold on. I know the interview you had. Hey, man, I need you to go to the trainer to Damian Martinez. He's on the Louis zone.
I like Damian Martinez. I do like Damian Martinez. Okay. But the hard part about this draft class, to be honest, becomes running back. There's so many. You know what I'm saying? There's so many. It's hard to even get to. Like Brashard Smith out of SMU. Like, it's just like, bro, like, we better get one of them. We better get we leave him with something.
Hey, I'm from around the way. You feel me? Hey, tell the people what your hat say real quick.
Run the damn ball. So to my dog.
Hey, let's go.
Run the damn
There's
ball.
the motto. Let's go.
There's the
motto. Let's go. Zack Martin said it himself. When he pulled up as a rookie, we were doing what?
Run the ball.
And it made it easier for him. All right, say less, brother. Get us up out of here, man. We'll be here all night.
Yeah, y'all. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on all social media platforms at JTook151. And we're going to keep rocking. I might go live tomorrow. We're going to just go. Whatever. I just went out, walked my dog, and said, you know what? I'm going to go live. I'm going to go live. So we appreciate y'all rocking with us, Cowboys Nation. We can continue to do that all off season and get y'all prepared for the draft and also for free agency. So everyone stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged, and go Cowboys. Peace.
Let's go.
This video is brought to you by BetUS Online Sportsbook and Casino. And right now, BetUS is offering exclusive deals. So go over to BetUS, use the code YouTube150, and they are offering 150% up to $2,000 bonus deposit on your first deposit and 125% on your next two. So if you want to win money this NFL season and use free money, you cannot beat free money. Go over to BetUS, use the code YouTube150, and let's get this money game.